I'm Ivy Rivera. This is Ask a Medium. I am a psychic medium. I'm going to be giving your weekly horoscope, every zodiac sign, for Thursday, October 24th to Thursday, October 31st. Let's see what's going on with you, starting with Aries. Today is Thursday, starting with Aries. Aries, the first thing that I'm feeling with you is emotion going forward and a halting. I feel you being very reflective on other people, different situations, the way that you're saying things, the way that you're communicating with people, the way that people are receiving the information and your output. What this feels like to me is that you have possibly found yourself in some hot button topics or hot button situations. There could be something potentially volatile going on, and you want to avoid that. I don't feel like you're overestimating the situation or giving it more power than what it deserves. I feel that it's wise for you to be cautious as you move forward in conversations and these different situations. But I do also feel that it's really important for you to be authentic this week. So I'm actually feeling coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday into next week. Tuesday, Wednesday in particular could be really strong in this particular area where it's imperative that you say your truth, that you speak your mind, and that you have a sense of, I want to say diplomacy, yes, fine, but that you're also you're not sugarcoating anything, making people think that something isn't as big a deal as it seems. Sometimes situations are going to eventually become urgent, or the mistakes that are being made, the things, the details that are being overlooked, the things that people are poo-pooing as no big deal, they are critical. And you might be the only one who has the guts to just say it. And I feel like as long as you're saying it respectfully and kind of pulling your energy back right away afterward, I do think it's going to be heard. And I actually think that you could find yourself in a position to be overheard by someone in a position of power who might appreciate that honesty from you, that leadership from you, and the way that I want to say you're having foresight. And it does appear that some car issues are either coming up or the potential to purchase a new vehicle. I feel like I'm looking at Thursday and Friday, which would be today and tomorrow, where we're talking about either new tires, upgrades. We're talking about something possibly going under the engine. And for some of you, I almost felt like, oh, well, I had some repairs made and now it feels like a new vehicle. This could be a metaphor for your life. So I want to say that in your love lives, also, you're going to want to make sure that you're really investing the time in what's old. Sometimes we think we're kind of done with a relationship or we let somebody fall to the wayside and we're like, well, we've already been through it or it's been a long time or whatever it is. I don't feel that many of you have actually been investing in your relationships to the degree that you should have been. And there may be more there than what you thought. Taurus, what is going on with you this week? Thursday and Friday, which is today and tomorrow, I have you being playful, talkative, chatty. I have you also reaching out and trying to, it's almost like break bread with other people, eat with other people, socialize in a sharing manner with others and peers. It almost looked like a bunch of kids that sit down at the lunch table at school and it's like, I'll trade you grapes for my ho-ho, whatever it is. So it almost seems to me like you found yourself in a situation today and tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. You may have had very pleasant exchange with people and people were letting you in. People were really involving you in their social exchange and network, and a sense of community is growing. I think, though, you're supposed to be taking a little bit more out of these types of scenarios than what you have been. So I want to say that it's important that you're really examining tomorrow, Saturday, again on Monday, in the early morning and into the afternoon, how those dynamics are really working. Because what's actually going on behind the scenes here is that you're finding yourself in more of a leadership position than what you had in the past. And with that leadership position, you're realizing that you don't have to come at things like other people do in positions of power. You don't have to do it from a place of ego or from force or for the sake of rulership. You're doing it more for the highest and best good of the entire community. And when you do that and you include everyone, you're realizing that you're moving up rather quickly in the ranks. And I do have somebody coming to you potentially on Wednesday, but it also seems like another opportunity is coming to you Thursday afternoon or into the evening, where you're being offered a benefit, a bonus, an opportunity from that attitude that you have, from that good character that you've displayed. And I feel like by all means, you should be taking this. I also feel a lot of grandmother energy reaching out to you this week, maternal energy, aunties, sisters, friends. That's your ancestors. And it feels that there's talk of healing your heart. A lot of the Taurus people that I'm feeling today seem to be coping and healing from a previous heartbreak or heartache. And I'm under the impression that this may have been lingering for some time and you didn't know what to say. You didn't really know what to do with it. It was as though you had maximized everything that you were able to do. And so your hands were tied and you've been sitting and waiting for some breakthroughs. I do feel those breakthroughs coming through these ancestors and through these maternal energies living in your life. I'm giving you some wisdom. So keep your ears open and watch other people as an example. So a lot of release going on with Taurus and that particular topic. Heal your heart and stop thinking about it, but go through that door, go forward, and allow for new love to come in. If you are already in a relationship and this has just been dragging out for some time in your marriage or your long-term committed situation here, we would be looking at a breakthrough, allowing you to have the sense of direction and wisdom about what to do now. Okay, what to do next? Am I staying? Am I going? What does it mean? Gemini. What is going on with my fellow Geminis for this week? Okay, we have a couple different things going on here. I'm hearing opportunity coming in. I'm hearing that it would come from someone in a position to gift you something. And it doesn't necessarily come to the forefront. It doesn't come presented to you or to the table at that time as money. It sounds more like it's an opportunity to build with others. It's a networking opportunity. It's about exposure. It's about communication. It's about media. It's presented as something very different. However, directly after that, and what the consequence of taking it would be, is a direct stack of cash that goes into your bank account, so to speak. And with that money, I feel stability, meaning it will be there long term. It is also the type of stability where I would say that you could build upon it. So it's the type of investment that you want to take because it allows for future investments and growth. I actually see it being converted into real estate somehow for you. You can figure that out. However, whether that's residential, commercial, it's, I feel that you're going to be able to use it in that direction in your life. And even if for some of you it is commercial or it is connected to your business, you may find yourself actually living on that property or being able to have a more secure house, residential situation based on that particular move. So I feel great about all of that. I'm also feeling some whispers coming in here from a lover, from a partner, from a spouse. I have somebody trying to talk to you, get you to come to the table and put your cards down. It seems that a lot of my fellow Geminis have been holding back. You may have been holding back on the amount of love that you're willing to give. You may have been holding back on the support that you've been willing to give. And it seems at some point you were wounded, whether you were wounded by this person, you were wounded in the past. It seems that this walling off has sort of reached its end. And if we're going to evolve in this current relationship, you're going to have to let some walls down. Cancer, my fellow Cancers. Let's see what we have going on here. I have you very, very playful this week. I almost get the sense of a child who was let out for recess, and you look to me like you have a very sincere, simplistic, community-oriented attitude and mindset about everything. Very free, very open, very heart on the sleeve. There's an attitude with you this week of carelessness, and I think it's great and refreshing because you can sometimes look so guarded. And my sense with this is that you are able to do this to a heightened ability than what you have been in the past. I no longer see from here on out you going forward and then taking 2 steps back, or you going forward and becoming stagnant. You putting yourself out there and then looking like a deer in the headlights, at the first sign of anxiety. I see you being able to go with the flow more easily. And I don't feel like I'm just talking about these social situations. I feel like you on this playground doesn't just have to do with your interaction with others, but also circumstances, opportunities, the world around you, you in the universe, having a sense of being empowered. Also, you may be figuring out a lot more about law of attraction and manifestation right now in your life. My feeling with this, Cancers, is that you do this for anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours, and then you like to pull back. You may do this for 2 to 3 days, and then you like to pull back for an entire day. Whatever it is, we have a 2-2-3 system here. And I think that it's important to remember that part of that flow, to keep that roll going and to stay in that higher vibration without all of these pauses and anxieties and overthinking, part of that does actually require that you pull back. You create that personal space for yourself. So don't jeopardize that. I do want to say, from the majority of Cancers, I have a weight around your left ankle, weight around your right ankle. What that's going to mean is that circumstances have been holding you back, and that in some fashion, you are also holding yourself back. So it's going to be really important over the course of this next upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, and possibly even into Wednesday evening or Thursday morning for some of you. It's either going to break down that Monday, Tuesday, or that Wednesday, Thursday. You're going to have an opportunity to get loose, and you're going to have an opportunity to see that some of those circumstances have broken away, and you need to celebrate that, okay? A good attitude, an attitude of gratitude, will attract more of it to you. Don't hold back. Leos, what's happening with you? Leos, I have you decorated, and it's interesting because what they're showing me are earrings. Now, whether you're male or female, and who cares, it doesn't matter, but I see earrings, and what that's going to mean is that your ears are decorated, that your ears are on. It's a beautification symbol, but it has more to do with what you do with your ears. And I'm actually hearing that it isn't just about you quieting yourself. It's not just about you listening and hearing more from spirit and hearing more from your higher mind. It's also about the observations that you're making visually. So I am watching you see, okay? See the world clearly. When I say see, I'm not really talking about the eyes, okay? And the ears, it's more your third eye. It's your higher mind. That is truly hearing. That is truly seeing. That is truly feeling. That's the reality of the world around you. And for a while, it seems like you've been living in a bit of a shadow or a little darkness. You've been a little confused about things. I see you coming out of this really strong on Saturday. And then again, this upcoming Thursday. For some of you, this is affecting your relationship with your children. So for those of you who have been having struggles, and I know that a lot of parents are having struggles with their kids right now. I'm not an astrologer, but I would say pay attention to the planets. There's a lot of movement right now that involves causing your children to be full of rebuttal and fire and wanting to push for their independence. Okay, so I feel you coming to some conclusion with all of that, having more peace and harmony where that's concerned. For other Leos, I have a closing on a chapter, whether this is an old lover, this is someone new that you've met with soulmate connection, but they're from a previous life. This is someone you've had in your life currently, but it isn't working. I feel closing of a chapter or a new level of understanding with a love partner, and it is old. It does go way back. Virgo, what is going on with you? Virgo, I have an anointing oil pouring down on your crown chakra. Now, what that's going to mean to me is that, okay, here's a good way to say this. People come to earth with a gift. That gift cannot be removed from you. But if you don't have the character, you don't have the integrity, if you haven't learned to really polish your personality so that you can maximize this gift, it can end up not looking like much of a gift at all. Now, for those of you who are doing that inner work, and you've not only taken your gift, but you're also using your good moral integrity and character to push your lives forward, to push your agenda forward, and it is for the highest and best good, what we're going to see is an anointing from God, an anointing from the universe. And this anointing allows you to do things that are supernatural. It is beyond anything you would normally be able to do. And it is certainly going to be far beyond anything anyone else in your circle is probably doing, unless they have the same thing. Now, this comes down on you through your crown chakra. I see it pouring, okay, from God above onto the crown, which is where you receive all of your channeling information. This is where we communicate with God. We communicate with our ancestors. We communicate with angels and saints and our guides and things like this. It goes right on down past your third eye, your higher mind. And then I saw it dripping down the left side of you. This is what's interesting about this. You're going to find yourself capable of beyond anything you thought you were in recent years. Possibly for some of you ever in the history of your life. You're going to notice that this new anointed ability that you have is earned, okay? And that you're being blessed to go forward. And when it happens, if you take it and you keep moving with it, and quite frankly, I don't know how you wouldn't. I don't even know how much of a choice this really is. But if you're mindful, you're going to notice that so many things from your past that had been damaged, and this could be anything. For some of you, I'm seeing childhood. For some of you, I'm seeing abuse. For some of you, I'm seeing drug addiction. For some, it's almost like paranormal attack or, I don't believe in family curses, generational curses. I think that's more psychology and damage, habitual environmental problems. But all of that, I see this being healed and you being released, okay? Chains, literally, being removed from the wrist, being removed from the feet. For some of you, I also see a baby coming in. So for those who've been trying to conceive or adopt or foster care, we could be looking at that. Some of you might be meeting someone who also is bringing a child into the relationship. I see new love. Libra, what is going on with you for the week? Libra, I have you going forward, and I have you with a sense of, I want to say, high self-esteem, a great sense of accomplishment. And then it's as though you stall out a little bit and you're kind of looking behind you to the right. I am under the impression that there is something going on that you haven't dealt with. And it is becoming a bit of a skeleton in the closet, stuff swept under the carpet, unfinished business type of a theme that you understand you cannot allow to linger. You can't. Now, there are some of you that seem to be suffering the consequences of it around that time and as we go forward, but it isn't yours. It's due to a lover. It's due to a spouse. Others, I almost feel as though I'm looking at your parents or a child. Someone around you may have decided at some point that they were not going to grow up. We've got Peter Pan syndrome. We've got a complete denial. We've got, drinking or escapist tendencies in some way. And they're basically saying, I don't care who's affected by it. And it is now trickling over into your world. You're going to have to get the upper hand on that, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's your responsibility or not. And I want to say, find a way to set up boundaries, whether it be legal, it be even a written contract or just an agreement, a verbal agreement, and then really watch and make sure there's follow through. You cannot let it affect your finances, your schedule, your mental health and well-being, okay, and your physical health. Other Libras, I also have someone childlike coming in, asking for your assistance. They want you to help them build something. You could find yourself in a mentor type of position this week. And I want to say, especially Wednesday, I'm hearing a lot about this. Let me put it this way. Even if it's not something you really want to do, and even if you're like, well, I'm not really going to get any benefits from this, I feel like at this point, your sense of expertise in this area is really valuable. And I just want to remind you and everybody else that the things that we learn here in the world, this is a big classroom. It's meant to be given out. It's not just to be hoarded and for your own survival or for you to thrive. Real thriving is giving. So give and take the time. Scorpio, what is going on with you? Scorpios, I want to warn a bunch of you on Tuesday, and I'm even hearing Monday evening. And I want you to be careful also Saturday night. I want to say that it's important that you're not overusing, that you're not over drinking, that you're not over smoking, whatever it is, you need to be mindful. Some of you seem to also be in some kind of mentality that if you're going through some type of a spiritual journey, you know, you should have maybe somebody leading it, or I want to say it's a big thing these days. Don't get a shaman to lead you through this. You know who that is, and remember, you're your own shaman. Okay, you don't need somebody to lead you down some big journey, especially if they don't know, get their head up their own rear end. I mean, you have to be really careful. You lead yourself. Okay, spirit will lead and guide you. You don't have to be altered to do that and to get to the next level. For those of you that are doing it more as a sense of escape, I want to say this is no time to be toying around with that type of energy. Try to find a more natural approach to getting in touch with a higher state of elevated sensation. You're really lacking a little confidence right now is kind of the key issue, and you're looking to feel something. Don't take that route. It does feel a bit dangerous in the paranormal sense. I'm also feeling that for a lot of you, it looks like Thursday, Friday, and I'm hearing that we could be looking at some of this next Wednesday. I do feel a sense of heightened psychic ability. It's as though you're having a lot of prophetic dreams, you're having a lot of visions about the future, and you're having a lot of visit dreams, astral travel, things like this. You're going to want to journal this and wait to test it out in the future and see if, in fact, it does play out. Some of the things that you're seeing are more about those around you. Some of them are about world events. Okay, so this is a really powerful place for you to be right now. Sagittarius, what's going on with you? I have somebody whispering in my left ear, and when they're doing that, I almost felt like a sense of what do you want? You know, what do you want? And I want to say that the majority of you are going to be receiving this spirit who feels more like a guide. For some of you, it could very well be an ancestor giving you guidance. A lot of male energy coming through over here. So fathers, grandfathers, brothers, uncles. When they come through, you might get a weird ringing in your ears. A lot of people think that they have tinnitus. Tinnitus is really if it isn't actually tinnitus, okay? And let's face it, the majority of the time, I really do believe that it is this. They are spirits coming in when it's the left ear. They want to communicate with you. The grandmothers used to say left for love, right for spite, and that was fairly accurate. So when the left ear rings, it's a spirit. It's like a telephone. Spirit comes in, they want to give you a message. What they do afterward is they put a thought in your head. You're not going to know that they put that thought in your head. You're going to think that it is your own thought because it comes in your inner voice. So pay attention to the messages that they're giving. My sense here is that some of this messaging that's going to be coming through for you is about you pushing forward and you releasing. Something happened within the last 3 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 months that has got you rattled. It shook you and it made you fearful. It made you feel less like, I see the Fool card in tarot, you know, it's made you feel less free, less willing to go by blind faith. And you're waiting to have all your ducks in a row. You're procrastinating. I want to say this isn't you. This isn't natural for you. And this particular situation is being karmically dealt with. And what you need to do is understand that things can happen to you and they aren't you. So don't accept it as part of who you are. Don't let it change you. Capricorn. First thing I'm getting with you, Capricorn, is finding around the ankle on the right foot. And what that's going to mean is that you are finding yourself in a position where you're being encouraged by the universe. You're being provoked even to move forward, and you're kind of refusing. You're really resistant to it in such a way where you've locked yourself up. You hold the keys to this chain around your ankle. You have all the answers, but you know that it's time to go forward. So you're taking the actions, but it's almost like you're faking it. It's almost like you're trying to psych yourself out. And for a lot of you, this feels to me like it has to do with applying for jobs or putting yourself out there in a new line of work. And you're trying to say, oh, I'm totally confident that I could take on this position. And then it's sort of like you're falling apart behind the scenes. For others, I feel like this really has a lot to do with your dating life or your love life. And even if you're in a committed relationship, it could be about taking it up to that next level. I feel like you guys kind of faking it a bit. Now, the thing is, I understand that you want to stay in a safety zone and put one toe in the water, but that's not really an option here. And we have to be careful who we are potentially hurting or dragging in to what we are selling. All right. So you shouldn't be on the market if you aren't marketable. You shouldn't be putting yourself out there and applying for jobs if you don't have skill in that particular field. And if you do get brought into this situation, if you do find yourself dating someone, or if you do find yourself hired, that's great. But roll with it. Push yourself forward. Then, live up to the standard of what you said you were able to give. So a little bit of testing going on there with that. And it also feels to me like you have some things almost like unresolved. Some things I'm seeing in the trunk of your car. So to speak, symbolically, there could be a lot of cleaning out that needs to happen. And I do feel like you need to lighten your load, okay, from things that have happened in those areas and just toss them to the side of the road, so to speak. The car will go faster if you do. Aquarius, what is going on with you? I have you directing this week. I have it starting as something funny. You are just at the peak of charm this week. So I have you really coming in to what looked to me like some type of a meeting. So whether it be family, it be business, just be typical work environment stuff. I saw you coming in and sort of dictating using humor and your conversational finesse, the way that this more unpleasant topic was being presented, and people were just like, their palates were wet. They were just eating it up. They're eating it up because it's you. Anyone else who would have presented it, and I see the other options around you right now, and they're not good. Anyone else who would have presented this, it would have gone haywire. Now, because of this, you have an opportunity for something more, to expand out into something greater. And I am looking at, I want to say, it feels to me like Monday, and then it feels like on Wednesday evening, you may be getting a call. Keep your ears open Thursday morning and into the afternoon. You may be getting an email or a text, some type of confirmation about this promotion. I see a crown going onto your head, and that's going to represent a position of royalty, so to speak, or something that you earned, and it's obviously power. Okay, so this is something that you definitely want to give the time and attention to, maximize. I'm also feeling as though some people and a potential trip, something in your life that you wanted for a while that was going to be fun, engaging, enlightening for you. You kept postponing it. You kept saying, I can't have that right now. I can't afford it. Or I don't have the time in my schedule. Or turning these people away. And that time is sort of up, okay? So it's sort of rolling in, coming to get you, and you do need to plan it and go. Pisces. What is going on with Pisces? First thing I'm getting for you, Pisces, is Q-tips. And I'm watching you clean out your ears, and that is going to be symbolic of nothing super gross. I wasn't sure if it was going there or not. It looks to me like it has more to do with you opening your eyes, listening clearly, listening to others, and settling yourselves down. It looks like the last couple weeks, they keep saying 2. So whether this is 2 days or 2 weeks, for some of you, maybe even been 2 months, you've been really active and you've been really avoidant, and you haven't taken much time to slow down. The thing I want to say to you is this: you can look as though you're in control on the outside, and you can look as though you're moving slow or you're super chill, but you're really high strung on the inside, and you're not going inward enough and being centered, rooted, grounded. You have a sense of chronic anxiety, nervousness, or a need to control situations outside of you. Avoidance tactics, whether it be, smoking, getting high, drinking, pills, escapist, oversleeping a lot. There seems to be a theme here with you fairly recently. And my sense is that you went through a period of success where things were going very well and then got overwhelmed. And this was your way of, instead of slowing it down, creating space for yourself. And this isn't the kind of space that we want to keep going. I do see a lot of birds coming in, so I want to say watch out for cardinals. This would be loved ones coming in to communicate with you. I also feel like watch out for hawks. These are messenger birds from your guides. We want to see birds coming in from the left to the right. That means your past going into your future, never from the right to the left. It means you're going in reverse. Pay attention to these things. And this week, if there's something that you want, especially on Thursday, it's an opportunity for you to speak up. I see some of you going up in front of a crowd. I see some of you presenting something. I see some of you having an opportunity to go up in front of someone in a position of power. And you're going to need to really bring your A game, and you're going to need to go in there with an attitude of, I will not settle. I will not back down. This is a non-negotiable. And it's almost like I come in peace, but I'm carrying a big stick. And you're going to have to follow through with that. So go and get what is yours on Thursday. On Friday, I'm hearing new love. So whether you're doing something new with a current lover or you're meeting someone new, it seems to be like I'm hearing ding, ding, ding. And that feels to me almost like, reminds me of almost like Tinder. It's like ding, 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 someone's there. So I'm hearing connections being made. And pay attention to who is around you on Friday. Looks fun. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in for the horoscopes. We are going to get to the live show now, so keep posting your questions below. For those of you viewing through YouTube, thank you for your kind comments, your likes, and for subscribing. I will be putting your November horoscopes up in the next few days.